SJ. Welcome to Mvskoke Radio, your weekly source for tribal and community news, interesting guests and discussions, plus a local events calendar.
I'm Jared Moore with Mvskoke Media. This is Livewire. Today we're going to have an election update. We've got in the studio via Zoom Mr. Nelson Harjo Jr. from the election board. Real quick, I'm going to go through the official list of candidates because that's what happened this week. It was candidate registration deadline. So for Creek District, we have Patrick Freeman, who is the incumbent. And there was no one else that filed in the Creek District, so he's going to go on through and he's going to serve his second term. McIntosh District, we have Adam Jones III, who is the incumbent, going up against Galen Cloud. Mvskoke District, we have Joyce Deere, who's the incumbent, going up against Sandra Parrish. Okfuskee District, we have Travis Scott, who is the incumbent, going up against Samuel Deere, Russell Wind, and Sandra Golden. Okmulgee District, we have James Jennings, who is the incumbent, going up against Lanissa Jack Melton, Tara Beaver, Nelson Harjo Sr. Tuckabutchee District, we have Thomasine Yahola Osborne, who is the incumbent, going up against Edwin Marshall. Tulsa District, we have Lucian Tiger III, who is the incumbent, going up against Leonard Gouge, John Killingsworth, Elizabeth Thompson, Anthony Beaver, Robert Hawkins, Julian Watson. And in the Wagner District, we have Mark Randolph, who is the incumbent, going up against Deidre Thompson. So with that all being said, I'd like to thank you for coming in today. I know it was a long introduction, Mr. Harjo. And, we should probably mention at the beginning, we have received questions from citizens about your dad, right, is the Nelson Harjo Sr. that's running in the Okmulgee District. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct.
Now, do you want to assure the audience you don't have there's no way that you would be able to influence the process here? Yeah, or just talk about that generally?
Yeah, I, myself, and the position that I hold here at the nation, obviously with the inside of the election board's office and managing the staff, I do not have any direct participation in counting the ballots or doing any of the official counts. Now, my job is just to report, help the election board report the results of the counts of those ballots and produce the results for the citizens. So, and also, the board, governs the entire, election process. So, you can make the argument that at the end of the day, they have an even greater influence on not so much the outcome of the election, but the overall process than even what I do, because anything that I do obviously has to be approved by them. So at the end of the day, they have the final say so in any and all things that may happen. And even they play a more important role whenever it comes to any issues like challenges, any recounts, things of that nature. They're in charge of that process, along with the Supreme Court and anybody else that has interest in any recounts, things of that nature. So just to reiterate, I'm not directly involved with any of the counting procedures themselves. I'm just there to make sure everybody's in place so that way they can do their job.
Great. Thanks so much for responding to that. That is a question that we had from citizens about this situation, so it's good that we're clearing all that up. And just real quick, I want to touch on, we had a comment in the chat here about the audio being messed up. It looks like on our end, the audio is okay. I don't see any problems. If after we get done, this is all being recorded, so if after we get done with our stream, there's a problem with the audio, we'll upload a fixed version. But go ahead and feel free to go into the chat and put your questions or comments into the chat while we're doing the live stream, and we'll try to get them answered anyway. And then when we upload the cleaned up version, you can hear the answer. So just because we're having technical problems right now, if we are, then doesn't mean we won't get the answer to the question that you post in the chat. That being said, what are the next deadlines for the election as far as if you're a voter? What's the next big steps that are going to happen for them as far as registration and those things?
Okay, so we've already passed the candidate filing period. So the next big deadline that's coming up will be the absentee registration and ballot requesting deadline, which will happen on August 25th. So if you are planning to vote by absentee, I would highly suggest that, you contact our office, request a ballot form. We can get that out there to you however you need. We can fax them, email them. We can even send those through mail. You fill that out, sign it, send that back into us. We'll get you fixed up with an absentee ballot. So that'll be the very next deadline that we'll come up to. Shortly after that, September 8th will be the in-person voting deadline. So that would actually technically be the last day that somebody could register to vote for this primary election, September the 8th. So then after that, the next dates are the voting dates themselves. We have early in-person voting September 15th and 16th, and we will have the primary election on September 18th. So as far as voters concerns, those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 biggest dates coming up for them.
Okay. So we've seen just with the news, the Delta variant picking up. Has there been any discussions with the election board about if we get into a situation where there's going to be a lockdown or something by the time that the election happens? Are there precautions, or is there anything that you guys are going to ask voters that are showing up to in-person voting to do, or has there, at this point, have we had any discussions like that?
We've had some initial and very, very initial discussions with the chief's office about if lockdowns were going to happen again and continue on through the in-person voting and up through election day. The election board could implement rules as far as maybe only allowing a certain amount of people to come into the voting center at a time in order to cast their ballots. And then once they're done casting their ballots and they exit the building, then we can allow X amount of other people in to do that. So, because the last thing we want to do is to discourage anybody from coming and casting their ballot. So we've already had initial discussions of that nature. Definitely, we would be requiring masks to be worn inside the voting area. And I believe we would implement the social distancing rule where everybody stands 6 feet apart from each other. So like I said, once again, this is very initial. We haven't lined out all the details just yet, but that could be the basic thing that people could expect should we get to that point again. At the very least, it will be masks will be required inside the voting locations.
And I'm assuming that if those things change or anything starts like that, then the election board's webpage will have all that information, right?
Yes, as soon as we actually have a for sure protocol on all of the exact things that we would require voters to do for COVID, precautions and protocols, we will get that posted on our website and throughout our different social media outlets.
Okay, and just for the audience, if you're watching this and you want to, there's a link to the election board's webpage in the description of this video, so you can click on it, and that's also going to give you all of these deadlines, the candidate lists, and a bunch of other helpful information for voting, getting registered, and those types of things. So if you want to go, if you get a chance and you're interested, you're going to vote this year, click that link. We also have had requests here from citizens about community forums, where are they going to happen and all those things. Where can citizens go? Should they go to the election board to find out where their nearest forum is, or is it one of those things what's the advice there?
The best place that I could point you to, because the election board itself does not organize the candidate forums, that is solely up to the community centers or any other organizations that would be interested in hosting a candidate forum. As far as our communities are concerned, I would point you to community research and development. A matter of fact, I was on a Zoom meeting with them earlier about a little bit about how they're going to structure some of their candidate forms and things like that, keeping in mind that we are introducing, mask mandates back into our tribal buildings and facilities, things of that nature. So CR&D coordinates with the communities in order to host those forums. And so that would be the best thing I could point to tell citizens to go to them in order to find out when and where these candidate forms are going to be.
Right. So, and then for the audience, we're also going to, on this channel, we're trying to set up basically kind of like, if you're familiar with the format of the Live Wire program, we're going to try to do individual live streams with each candidate and take questions from the chat. So if you have, in that way, you can go and watch, it's kind of like to replace our previous video profiles we had done in years before. This time it's going to be one candidate, about 30 minutes or so, and you can ask questions directly of them, and then we're going to ask some questions and also get to hear from the candidate what their platform is, etc. So if you're a citizen that's outside of the area or for whatever reason can't make it to a forum, you'll get a chance to see these candidates in the upcoming month and a half, I guess is what we got left. There is, while we're talking about these things, there is a constitutional amendment on the ballot for the National Council to fund the Free Press Mvskoke Media here. Once that process, so are we going to see results from that in this primary? In other words, if the amendment gets the number of votes that it needs to pass, it won't carry on to the general. Is that correct? Am I correct in that assumption?
That's correct. Whenever there is a tribal question that's placed on the ballot, if that question receives the sufficient amount of votes in order to pass, or if it fails, whatever the voters decide, that will effectively become law, to my understanding, after the election is, complete and finalized.
Okay. And will the results from that be on, I know that you guys send us a link every year for the election results for our live stream. And for the audience, if you don't know, we do a live stream on election night here, so you can get the results as they come in. We have some entertainment lined up, musical entertainment lined up this year for everybody. It's not the same as previous years. It's going to be a little bit different, but this ballot question, or I guess it's a constitutional amendment question, will that be reported on with those results live at that link? The same deal?
Yes, we're going to, and to be honest, I don't know exactly how we're going to format those results this time around, since we basically introduced a brand new voting system for this election. Some of that was tied to the old system and to the old vendors that we utilized for our elections. This will be brand new. So as soon as we figure out exactly how we're going to get those results posted on election night, to answer your question, those results of the candidates and the tribal question will be posted as well. So everybody's going to know on election night, what the results are, or what the unofficial results are of the election.
All right, great. Is there anything that we haven't covered yet? I just want to mention really quickly, we're still getting complaints in the chat about the audio. So everybody that's watching, go ahead and post your questions if you have any, and then we're going to fix everything and upload a fixed version after this is over, if we can figure out what the problem was. It looks okay on our end. But go ahead. Is there anything else that we maybe haven't covered as far as the election, or the general election is going to be Wednesday, November 3rd, and Thursday, November 4th. Is that correct?
Yeah, that will be early voting. Yes.
And then the general elections that Saturday, November 6th.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah. So we just and once we get to this point, a little bit closer to this primary election, we're going to start posting more and more of the dates that apply for the general election. but I just wanted to make sure, everybody was reminded of all of the dates for sure for the primary, because one of the most important things that happens prior to the primary is when people are requesting an absentee ballot. Once they request one for the primary, we'll automatically have one generated for them for the general as well. So if you get it done, if you get your absentee requesting done prior to the primary election, we'll go ahead and get you set up automatically for the general, so that way you won't have to worry about requesting one in between the elections. But you still are able to. And like I said, we'll get those dates posted as we get a little bit closer to the primary. So people that haven't signed up to vote by absentee or signed up to vote, we can get you fixed up in between the elections as well. So once we get to that point, we'll get those dates released as well, so everybody knows when they can come in and do those things. If you want to go to the website, I believe we have a sample ballot that's posted on there that everybody can take a look at. Since we do have a tribal question on the ballot this year, I want to just remind everybody to take a look at that ballot, because it's going to be two-sided. So on one side, you'll see all of the candidates, and on the reverse side is the question that will be on the ballot. So it's very important that you look at both sides to make sure that you're able to vote on all the selections that you want to.
Yep. All right, great. That's a good thing to mention too, because we want everybody to cast their vote on that constitutional amendment. So make sure you flip your ballot over and check that out. Well, thanks so much for coming in today, and I hope that we can do maybe another update after the primary has gone by, and we'll stay in touch with you. And then everybody out there, I'm sorry if there's some type of audio glitch. We'll figure out what the problem is on our end, and be sure that we're going to upload a cleaned up version after that. And just for the chat, I see there's a comment in the chat that says, "Is that Tommy Chong?" I'm not Tommy Chong. so neither of us is Tommy Chong. I'm assuming you're talking about me, but So
that would make me cheat.
Yeah, it's Cheech and Chong. Cheech and Tommy and Cheech Harjo is who we are.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you guys tuning in today, and I want to mention to anybody that's watching also, tomorrow we're going to be live streaming the National Council meeting to catch everybody up on that light horse legislation that we had done some live streams on earlier in the month, and also some other stuff that's come up. So if you want to tune in tomorrow, you can check out that live stream, and we appreciate everybody tuning in today. And thank you, Mr. Harjo, and we'll see you guys later.
Jared Moore from our Mvskoke Vision department, speaking with Nelson Harjo Jr. A reminder of this year's slate of candidates, and go vote. And of course, there is that important constitutional amendment on freedom of the press, so make sure you turn that ballot over and make your vote. We're going to take a short pause here, and then we'll be back with our second segment of our show, talking about employment and training hiring event. So stay with us here on Mvskoke Radio, here on 1240 The Brew. Welcome back to Mvskoke Radio here on The Brew. We're going to speak with some folks from the Employment and Training Division. They've got an event coming up. The question of employment has been an interesting one lately because of national statistics. Governor Stitt changing rules on unemployment benefits, and we're kind of wanting to know how the tribe is dealing with that. So let me get set up here. Just get our microphones. There we go. I think that's a little better. Welcome to our program. We want to welcome Courtney Josie, who is a manager of the Employment and Training Division program. You're nodding your head.
Yes,
doesn't
the
work.
department.
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem. And Ellen Topo, they've come in to discuss this upcoming event, and we want to welcome them. Welcome, my gosh, Gary, we'll go to work here. Thanks for coming, folks. Let me put it simply. First of all, Courtney, can you give us a kind of a capsule about what your program does.
Well, we are the Mvskoke Nation Employment and Training Program. We oversee vocational training for youth ages 16 on up to adulthood. We also work with career development, and we help them with career guidance, career exploration. We also help with educational services if they are attending a vocational technical school, and we also help with, we run the summer youth program.
Okay. Now, in past years, I've heard that described as trade schools, going to trade school. My dad went to one here in Okmulgee. But the kind of support and help that you get is primarily in the vocational trades rather than higher ed. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, we're definitely two separate departments. Our department does assist with state certified vocational schools.
Okay. Now, Alan, I understand you are the job placement specialist. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what's your responsibility in all of this?
Well, my main purpose is sometimes can be the adult work. So anyone ages 21 and over that live within the jurisdiction, they're looking for a job. We can assist with that. We can assist with resume building. Some clients that come in, they have not been in the work field for some years, possibly, and we just try to point them in the right direction.
Okay, so I guess your job has evolved over the last few years with the changes
Yes.
in the job market and things.
Yes.
Okay, we have a third staff member here with us today. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Jesse Powell, Intake Specialist with Employment and Training.
Okay, now what is your specialty there, Jesse?
I oversee the incoming applications through our department, pointing clients in the right direction, whether that be they're trying to go into the workforce with Alan on his side of things, or if they're wanting to, get certified, not sure what school, through trade schools, or, handling referrals, sending them to separate entities or departments within the nation.
Okay. Now, in looking at the workforce for the Mvskoke Nation here, can you give me anyone here give me any numbers on how many people we have employed?
We have generally, I was actually looking at this yesterday, as a matter of fact. There are, our database has a numerous number of applicants that are available. And we try to, like we say, put them in the right spot. We have people just all different backgrounds. The tribe is about they have over 200 positions that's open. And we're talking about the tribe alone. I mean, we're talking tribal government jobs, we're talking casino jobs, and we're talking health. So altogether, they have over 200 jobs that's open at this moment right now that need filled.
So that could be floor crew at the casino
Yes.
serving their customers. Could be the guys out there sweating in the sun, cutting brush and things.
Yes.
And then the administrative support staff, which is that critical link in
Yes.
this whole thing. So 200 positions, my gosh. What kind of, where do most of those lie? Where's the biggest need?
The most interested area that we need filled is the general entry area. We're talking about like people that have the qualifications for receptionist, for maintenance workers, also somebody that can kind of come in and just help with the fill in the voids of people just moving around. And there are those people that just have those. They'll say, we've had someone in our office go on a maternity leave, or we've had someone else go on FMLA leave, and they just need something kind of temporarily. We have a lot of those positions.
Now, this, I guess, may be more of a policy question, but Josie, does it doesn't matter if they're native or non-native or Muskogee, a citizen or a citizen of another tribe?
Well, I would definitely say that the tribe welcomes all applicants, and we are open to everyone of every tribe. If you're non-tribal, everyone is welcome to apply.
Now, I've heard in some places they would prefer to hire members of their own nation, their own tribe. Does that work its way into what we're dealing with here?
Normally, it doesn't. However, it is depends upon the manager that's
Sure.
hiring. So we definitely encourage everyone to apply, especially with, the credentials that they may have. We have all positions available from entry level to the professional level. So we definitely encourage everyone to come out and come to our event.
Okay, so I'll take this one step further and then we'll dump it. But say somebody from the Ojibwe Nation was looking for a job and they were the most qualified out of all of the applicants for a particular position. So is that kind of the way you would want to lean, get the best you can for work?
As an employer, I believe that the best applicant that has the most credentials, the knowledge, that they may come in and hit the ground running.
Right.
So, they may be the most qualified candidate in those positions.
All right, and we'll ask Chief Hill not to fire you for that.
Thank you.
Now, I do put people on the spot from time to time. Now, Jesse, as you watch this situation develop, what are you thinking? What affects you the most?
I just see it as a great opportunity. In my position, seeing a lot of people that come through our office, whether they have barriers to employment, issues with COVID, it's hit a lot of our people hard, and I feel like it's just a great opportunity, and it's good to see that the nation is, working on something like this, offering all these positions out, to individuals with these on-site interviews, and I just think it'd be a good thing, to offer that to these individuals.
Right. Let me ask you kind of a national question here, Courtney. We've seen all of the emphasis on employment. Before the COVID, we had a nice thriving economy, and then the virus hit, and all of a sudden, zip, people were out of work. Now they're talking about coming back. Maybe not. Of course, Governor Stitt has cut off the unemployment benefits, and that's another story. But how does this whole crisis affect us? Did we lose a whole lot of people? You're looking for 200 jobs here, so that would seem to me that there was a real hit we took there.
I think a lot of it, too, is that we've had a steady flow of open positions available within the tribe and within River Spirit as well. The other thing that has come into play is like a lot of the kids were at home. Some parents had to be at home with children. I know a lot of individuals that this pandemic did hit, so it did affect our tribe as far as the workforce. And so with River Spirit, I can't really speak on what they're experiencing, but they did have a lot of turnovers in their positions, and I know a lot of the health care too has had some challenges within, the hiring as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, as we look at getting back up on our feet and everything going back to what we used to know as normal, do you have quite a gap there? I mean, we're talking 200 positions, of course, but is that need critical, do you think, anyone here?
Well, the need is definitely critical. I know as far as like we have positions that are entry level. Mainly those positions, we're in need in the child care area, the Head Start area. So in order for us to definitely function as a tribe, you want to be fully staffed. So that has been a challenge, I believe, overall.
Got some thoughts on that, Alan?
Yes. The national average when it comes to unemployment has somewhat dropped, but the state has within the last month kind of dropped to 5.4% in unemployment, whereas the month before was at 5.9. So we're kind of at a steady drop when it comes to the unemployment. So the basic needs are we just need people to go back to work, really.
Is there a particular area where the need is the biggest?
Well, if somebody goes out and about their business throughout the day, if they go to like a restaurant, they'll see hiring postages. They'll say they're short-staffed. Well, they'll pretty much run into that anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You see that with a lot of maintenance positions. Somebody getting outside during this hot weather. There are only certain people can do that.
Right.
Right. So only certain people can stand the hot weather,
Yeah.
cold weather.
Yeah.
So
Well, I came from Alaska for 20 years, and I can handle the cold. But coming back to Oklahoma, the heat just hits you like a hammer. It's like, forget this. I'm going to get some watermelon and go sit under the shade tree somewhere.
Right.
Is there one particular area, though, that you've noticed the biggest demand?
Well, the need is kind of, I would say, these extra cleaners. There's these new positions that have opened up within the last year, and kind of an instance that happened was the health reached out to us, the health department. They needed extra, and they called them environmental technicians.
Right.
They're what they were they were extra cleaners to come in through to clean off lobby areas, doorknobs, door handles, a lot of things that people touch. And these positions were open, and they were open a lot, like all within the jurisdiction. And that was a busy time. We're trying to fill those positions just fast. We're trying to fill them quickly. And those positions are still there, and they're still needing those. So if somebody's ever needing a new job right now, just being a temperature taker at front doors, that's a need.
Yeah. Well, having been through the health facilities lately, I noticed that sort of thing, and was glad you had a crew on hand keeping the place sparkling. So thank you, Mado, 2000 Mado. Now, we don't want to leave you out here, Jesse. Now, you got some thoughts on what you've seen there?
I just agree with both of them. At the entry level, whether it be those EVS technicians or just receptionists or just anyone, it comes from the top down. Whether it be entry level people, that's just what keeps the ball rolling. Without these individuals within the organization, we got to keep the cogs moving. And I just feel like if we get the more people that show up for that, I just think just be a good thing.
Are these full or part-time positions, or both?
Both.
There are some that are part-time positions, but majority of them are full-time positions within the tribe, health, and the casino.
Well, I was thinking of the parents and them having to deal with child care and this kind of thing, so there might be a solution there. As you look at the national scene, Josie, you see the president trying to get something together and getting it through Congress and putting people back to work or extending unemployment. Does that sort of thing make you anxious or a little uneasy there?
It definitely does create some challenges because we have been reaching out to people as far as positions within the tribe, and our department being able to fill that position working under our work program. A lot of the challenge that we faced is not many people wanted to go back to work.
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
it was
we
a
heard that.
catch-22 for us. So many of the people said it was more convenient and beneficial that they stay home
Right, yeah.
and claim those unemployment benefits. And I believe those are the challenges that we're still facing. We've seen hiring events that other tribes have been having, and the turnout for those have not been successful.
So we're,
So this is a challenge we're faced with, and we're definitely up for that challenge to try and get people to our hiring event.
okay, folks, quit watching TV, put your shoes on, and get out and go back to work. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that hiring event now. That's coming up real quick, and you've got a large number of opportunities available across the nation. So why don't you give us an idea of what we've got here on August the 18th?
Well, August the 18th, we'll be hosting our hiring event at River Spirit. We are partnering with the health department and River Spirit Casino. So we'll have over 20 to 25 booths available that are from the tribe, from River Spirit. They're going to be able to provide quick interviews. So that's something new and different that we are trying to develop now as far as the tribe. When people come in, they're able to just go and visit with the booth. If they have a resume, they're welcome to bring that. If not, you're still more than welcome to come visit with those managers. The managers will be on staff. They'll be able to visit with the individuals, take them to the side. We have an interview section set up, so they'll be able to do a quick interview with them, and then thereafter be able to follow up with them, through an actual application process, and then set up an official interview
So
through HR.
they have a real good shot at getting hired right there.
Well, they have a real good shot as far as the follow-up.
Okay.
So once they do that quick interview, those managers will be able to identify those ideal candidates and then be able to call them in once they get set up at their, at the tribe within the HR policies to set up those interviews and move forward there. So we're looking to have a very quick turnaround for hiring.
Could one of you give me an idea of some of the employers who are going to show up, and what kind of jobs are going to be out there? Obviously the tribe, but can we break that down?
Yes, of course, the tribal government positions. Tribal, we're looking at, like she said, 20 to 25 different openings. So departments, the most, we have, tribal construction, school clothing, transit, child care is a big need. Children and family services, that's another big need. Voc rehab, commerce, Johnson O'Malley, tribal juvenile justice, family violence prevention. So all these departments, they have at least one opening that they're filling. Sometimes 12, sometimes 15. It depends. Mvskoke staffing, they have a lot. They're going to be there. The health jobs, they have about 100. They have their own booth. They're going to have their own section. They're going to have about 4 HRs sitting there. They're going to have their interview rooms, and this will all be available. The casino, the gaming, they'll have all their positions. We're not just talking, even though it's at River Spirit, we're not talking just River Spirit.
Yeah.
We're talking about all Mvskoke Nation casinos.
The possibility of finding a position is wonderful. It sounds really good. But if somebody comes in and doesn't quite know what they want, will you have someone there who can kind of guide them or give them some ideas of where they should maybe be applying?
We do have staff that will be available as hosts when the participants come in, that they'll be able to visit with them and definitely guide them in, a direction that they may see an interest in. And we'll also have computers set up. That way they can look at our website and definitely see all the job opportunities available. And if it's those individuals that need more of a guidance, we do offer assessments that we do within our department. So that may be something more of us providing some referrals for them.
Okay, so after talking with someone, you can say, well, you sound like you have some construction experience. Let's go talk to these folks over here who might have something there available that you would fit.
Yes, and and ours is our job fair, our hiring event is definitely unique because we're all about our people. We're all about communicating. I know I've went to hiring events where no one speaks to you. You have to actually approach them, and that's not what this hiring event is. We want everyone that comes in to feel welcome. So we want to be able to provide that hospitality to them. That way, they go out and let everyone know that Mvskoke Nation is definitely someone to work for.
Would you have coffee and donuts?
Yes, we'll have some pastries. We'll have coffee and water.
No fried bread, though.
No.
Darn it. The person who is interested in attending one of these events should probably bring some materials with them. What kind of things do you suggest that an applicant bring along with them to talk with these different employers?
A
Well,
resume.
Yes,
Yeah.
resume. Definitely bring, if they have their IDs available, because it may be that a manager from a department is highly interested in an individual. They may encourage them to go ahead and fill out an application online. So we'll definitely want them to have, their IDs available to better assist them during their application process.
Okay. Jesse, do you have some ideas on what an applicant should be prepared for?
Not only that, I would just suggest anybody showing up, if at all possible, dress like you're going to an official interview.
That is important.
Yeah, that is very important. Show up like you're going to get hired that same exact day. Make the best impression you can, because a lot of people are going to be there that are willing to help, and a lot of people that are going to give you good information. And maybe it doesn't lead to a job, but at least you're going to be networking with these people. You never know what's going to happen down the line.
So perhaps you might want to leave the tank tops and the flip-flops and at home, and if you're wearing a ball cap, turn it around correctly.
Yes, sir.
That's part of making the impression.
If-
Believe me,
Yes.
I've had some people show up at our office looking for a job that were dressed exactly like that. Said, no, we don't want a reporter that looks like that.
Well, and if anyone needs any pointers or any assistance prior to this event, they're welcome to give us a call, and we'll walk them through some
Great,
quick
great.
interview tips and interview applications. We actually have a clothing closet in our office that if there are individuals that need some interview attire, they're welcome to stop by our office.
That's wonderful. Tell me about some of the benefits that could be offered here. You highlighted excellent benefits packages there.
Well, we do have an excellent benefit package. We have a 401k match that I feel like is definitely a highlight of what the tribe offers. And there's we have the no copay. I mean, our benefits definitely is one of our highlights that we are offering for this hiring event.
And no copay means if you need to go to
If you need to go to
physician.
the doctor, and you have the benefits, you're definitely not paying out of pocket for that.
I noticed LASIK eye surgery is included in that particular list now. Is that a change from past benefits? I noticed I had to have some cataract surgery years ago, and he said, well, at this point, LASIK would be an option. But if you want to go the regular style where we go in and do the thing with the knife, we cover that, but we don't cover LASIK. So is this now that-
This is definitely something that is covered. I don't know when that has changed,
Okay.
but it is 100%, which you don't see with most with a lot of companies.
Now the point or the fact that people should come prepared. So let's hit that one more time. So if they're going to walk in the door and try and connect with some of these folks, how should they prepare? How should they look? What materials should they bring with them? You should always start with resume, right?
Yes, you definitely want to have a resume with you. If you if you don't have one available, I know sometimes it's a little challenging as far as computer access for those that are in the rural area too. Definitely give us a call and we'll, assist you with developing that prior to the event. But if you do have that, you have those resources available, bring those with you, business casual, and uh, I would say just be ready to highlight yourself and
Right.
definitely talk about, your skills and the knowledge that you have.
Jesse, you got some thoughts?
I would just say, present yourself as your best self. Show up confident, ready to go. A lot of people, they show up thinking, the worst of themselves. Somebody might be unemployed long term and just think, I'm never going to get hired. I've been in so many interviews. I mean, nobody's taking me. Nobody's taking me. With that mindset, it's not going to get you anywhere. You just have to go in. At least you could say you did your best, But it's not always the worst case, With these benefits and all this opportunity, I would just say, just go 100%.
Right. Alan, how do you see this?
This needs to have people show up, kind of to piggyback Jesse, making sure people have just that self-confident key. If they don't feel confident in interview questions, that's something we can help with. All they got to do is contact us, come through our office. If they don't have a resume, we can do that for them. We can help them, build them a resume. So these capabilities of having that confidence, that's something we can help with. So just if somebody just doesn't know, or if they just need help, they can call us.
If someone were to come in to attend it and was prepared, does anybody here have a feel for what the chances are for finding a job here?
Well, our goal for this hiring event is to definitely find some ideal candidates as far as filling these positions. So I would say as far as them coming in and having that second interview with the tribe is promising, because that's the goal of this event, is for people to leave with that confidence that they are going to get that next interview at the tribe. I mean, we have over 200 positions available, and one thing that we want to stress to the managers is this is the opportunity for them to find that ideal candidate.
Let me ask a question, as I usually do, something a little more off the wall kind of thing. If someone has a real strong Mvskoke cultural background, will that really help? I mean, if they come in and they speak some Mvskoke language, know something about perhaps the differences between religious practices or whatever, will that play a part? I mean, if you walk in and you can say a little bit more than Hesje,
Well, I believe that definitely plays a part in it, because within the Mvskoke culture, we are strong in that, and that's definitely something that I believe our leadership does encourage, is to be fluent in the Mvskoke language. If not, at least have a little bit of knowledge as to what those greetings are. I know as far as like the culture, you definitely want someone that's working for you, that's working for the tribe, to be aware of what the culture is, because it's not necessarily accommodating to an individual, but it's being respectful to their background.
you don't want to have someone who's going to commit any religious blunders. Let me ask you guys the same question. How culture, does it have a bearing, you think? How important might it be in this process?
I would like to say, as a Mvskoke, or as any native, you're very proud of your heritage, and you can always learn more. You can always, learn a little more of your language, go to another ceremony, and there are those that didn't grow up with that. There are those that have no kind of connection to their heritage, but they still, know that they're Creek. But at the same time, I believe it does play a part in it, and it kind of molds people into who they are. Everybody's background is different. Everybody has a different story. But I believe, as long as you have a strong background and your beliefs and your strong points, that's going to help regardless.
Alan, how do you feel about it?
Well, if you have somebody walk in and they meet those credentials, like you say, they have all that knowledge. Well, just to let someone know, there are jobs available where they can actually go out and they're pretty much the eyes and they're the ears for the communities that are out there. If they meet a certain person at a community, they can relate to them, they can speak to them, they can pretty much communicate. Well, that makes the people at ease. That helps them. So if somebody was to come in and walk in and they meet all that, hey, guess what? Let's point you over here. Let's point you in this direction where you'll be the front line. You'll be the front person to that sees that. So if that happens, that opportunity is there for them.
So they could be a very valuable employee.
Yes.
All right, well, we're going to have to wrap this up now. Let's look at the hiring event again. Give me the logistical details and anything else, and we'll get out of your way.
Okay. Well, thank you for having us, and we want to definitely welcome everyone to the hiring event. We'll have it on Wednesday, August 18th. That will be at the River Spirit Casino, and just take the escalators to the ballroom. That's where we'll be. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. we'll have that open for the veterans, and then from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. we'll open that up to the general public. We're going to have door prizes available. We're going to have some giveaways. So, everyone is going to leave with something.
Okay, well, thank you so much. We appreciate you all coming in today and sharing this information. Let's hope some people can find some careers here. Well, thank you, Alan, Courtney, and Jesse. We appreciate you coming in, and keep us posted. We like to keep our eyes on a number of different subjects, so putting people to work is definitely one of them. So,
Hello.
Okay, we're going to take another quick short pause here, and then I'm going to share a little bit of Joey Harjo's latest musical contributions. So stay with us here on Mvskoke Radio. Okay, as we promised, we're going to share some of Joey Harjo's material here. Let's see. Darn it, the title's covered up here. Well, let's listen to some music first, and we'll worry about it later.
Your girlfriend and her high-heeled shoes and her skirt up to here and her blonde hair down to there. When you dance right past with her, it gives me the blues. You have the sweetest step and double time. It's just not fair. But how can I tell you that I love you when you don't even care?
Boyfriend and his white man ways. You hold him in your shawl. It makes me crazed. I like the way you step so high beside me. tell you, babe, if you don't talk to me, where I, oh. Dance, you'd step so high. We used to come to this place all the time because everybody knew you. Now it seems like too many people know you here. Now, how can I tell you these things? You don't even talk to me anymore. You don't even call me up anymore. You don't even look at me anymore. You don't even see me anymore. But if you come close to me, I'll tell you how much I love you, honey. How much I love you, honey.
I don't like your girlfriend.
But
I never liked any of your girlfriends. None of them. Not your Sue, not your Comanche sweetheart, not your Shining Shoshone, not your Get Down Dene, not your too fast girlfriend with her up to here and her down to there and her here down to everywhere. You know, it looks bad on me.
are you done?
Do this to me.
Jeez.
If you come close to me, honey, hey, yeah.
If you come close to me, honey,
I will have to tell you
I will have to tell you
how much I love you.
how much I love you.
Hey, hey,
Hey, oh.
You've been listening to Mvskoke Radio. Join us again next week for more local, tribal, and community news and updates. Mado.